Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight we are back in action, and well, I'm back in action after having a night off last night here at Richmond Raceway for the Virtual Velocity Racing XFINITY series, their fall series here, kind of the tweener series, the let your hair down type of series. But we've seen some pretty good racing. We had 11 cars that look like they're ready to take the green flag here tonight, and we'll get to that here in a moment. But it's been a pretty interesting series so far, and certainly with the the kind of, not that it's not racing for something here for the fall series, but it's not their typical series where they have all their big heavy hitters. So we've seen some different names kind of rise to the top, and we got Len McNeese leading the point standings by 4 points over Eric Blunt. Tim Lee in third place, and then Tyler Hilton, Cade Green make up your top five. Actually, Michael Pratt also there tied for fifth, but I mean 10 points separating the top five right now through the opening rounds here, and it's been again, it's been pretty fun. We've had Milwaukee Mile to start off with Mike Casey getting the win, and then John Garrett getting the win at Rockingham. So we'll see what the third race here at Richmond has in store for us. Carl Hammer joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. It's maybe not a pumpkin carriage, but it's certainly that time of year that Jimmy starts to shine. It's getting close to Halloween there, buddy.
Yeah, it's the yard's a little bare at the moment, but it's all in surprise. I don't put all my stuff out until the weekend before the actual the day for Halloween, and that's just to kind of keep everybody guessing. That and like I live in Florida, so if a hurricane were to come, I don't want to have to take it all down and put it in my garage. It's just
you have which is flying through the air. There's nothing wrong with that. It just adds to the excitement.
If they fly away, I'm not going to get them back, and it costs a lot of money too. And I probably should go get them back. But no, it should be a good one here, Carl. It's 140 laps. I know they've been wanting to have more drivers out here to kind of throw some more competition, but them getting the time out here on the track for 140 laps with a smaller field does allow them to get much needed time on track with this car. Is this the car they're going to go with for the season when it comes to next year, or are they going to choose the next gen? Are they going to do the trucks, or are they going to do the new ARCA car? I still haven't heard word on that, but our qualifying results are in for tonight, and for our 11 drivers, this is the way they're going to line up. Dustin Franklin's going to be on top there with a 21.8, and Mike Hasty very, very close. 0.006 separates that second place. Then Brandon Meyer back there in third. Dalton Kilroy will start fourth. John Garrett, winner last week, starting fifth. Tyler Hilton's going to be in sixth. Tim Lee in seventh. Hemi Gardini in eighth. Eric Blount in ninth. Cade Green in 10th. And Michael Pratt in 11th as well. So Blount, Green, and Pratt not getting in a lap time. I don't know if it's by choice or maybe they were
trying
to
ask if
push
Michael
it.
Pratt didn't get a lap, and if that was by choice, really?
I seen him pretty quick in practice though too, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Michael Pratt up at the front.
He doesn't qualify when it's a 30-car field. There's only 11 car field here tonight. Come on.
Yeah, it's pretty much a true statement, but should be a good one here. 140 laps, and we're gonna watch these drivers get around here tonight. They do, I know they have a couple sets of tires, and I think it's 40% or 50% fuel, so they should have a couple pit stops here tonight. So we'll see how they do and see if they can survive this track. I went out there tonight just for a little bit, get a couple laps in, Carl, and I forgot how much you just drive around the corner with no gas.
Yeah, they got 3 sets of tires, so 2 in the pits, 1 faster pair, and then 40% fuel. But we're gonna have an extra pace lap here at Richmond because this track is so small. It is a short track here, only 3/4 of a mile here, just a funky little tri-oval of a track. And I don't know what's up with these mile and shorter tri-ovals that just like to keep things weird. Obviously we talked about Phoenix being weird, where the little short chute there in between what's now turns 3 and the dog leg there. That's where the start finish line is. Here at Richmond, it's on the tri-oval, but it's quickly on the tri-oval. It's not in the middle of the tri-oval. It's about maybe a third of the way through the tri-oval, so it's a little funky. And the other thing here is we're not exactly at night. A lot of times Richmond is run at night. It feels right to run Richmond at nighttime, but we're here at sunset, so maybe a little warmer track temperatures. We'll see if it affects the cars here at all as we get this thing ready to go to the green flag. And that's exactly what we're going to get. Green flag here. A little bit of a rough start on the inside there, but we are racing here at Richmond.
Be a spin or just maybe the wrong gear there for the 71. Allows 2 cars on the outside to get by. So, but that's Dalton Kilroe and the 72 of Mike Hasty as they try to follow Dustin Franklin around, kind of getting out here early. And that's one thing they got to do. Obviously, Dustin wants to get that first lap in. He looks like he's got a little bump there on his back bumper, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, got a little smooch from the 71 there on the start. Not sure what happened, but it shot him out of a cannon, whatever it did. Maybe it helped the handling of that car immediately, as clearly he was fast enough to get to the pole, but it got him out to a nice little lead there. But now the field's starting to spread out here a little bit. Maybe battle back there for 5th place yet. A couple cars still too wide back there from 5th back to about 8th, but good start there from Dustin Franklin. He is your leader. Dalton Kilroe now slots into 2nd, already up 2 spots. Brandon Meyer, the 71 that got into the back bumper of the 73 on the start, he is now in 4th place. John Garrett there you see on the inside, last week's winner, trying to move up here, and still got those Pinktober paint schemes on the cars for the team. So good looking paint there for the 66, and right behind him you got Tyler Hilton in the 02 with his Pinktober paint scheme as well.
Yeah, and this will be, I believe, probably, well, I mean, unless they don't change their paint, as I think this is the last race of the month for them, and they take a week off until they go to the next track. I don't have it on top of my head. I have to look over on our site. Let me see, just double check that. I was just looking at it earlier.
It is the last one here, and then you got Chicagoland starts off the month of November.
Speaking of Chicagoland, I know we were talking about John Garrett last week and looking for sponsors, possibly go back, getting that opportunity to possibly get back actually on the track again for real. So still looking for some sponsors. So if you're interested, look up John Garrett or even give him a shout out there. He's on Twitch right at the moment as well, so you can go over to his stream and see how he's doing POV style if you like. But he won last week and looking pretty good here so far tonight, up 2 spots in P number 3, right on Dalton Kilroe's tail.
Well, I'm actually going back on that because I forgot we did have Talladega last week. It was Rockingham that John Garrett won, but for some reason the results for Talladega are not in on iRacing for whatever reason. If they were deleted out, or if they decided not to count that race or what have you. So don't have the results in there for Talladega that we covered last week. But this is race number 4 because I thought I was missing one in there. I felt like we had more than a couple races in there. But either way, it's race number 4. This is now the battle for the lead as well. Dustin Franklin on the outside, but Dalton Kilroe got the preferred line there on the inside. You'll see him trying to wrap it around there, try and drift out through the exit of the corner, and he will clear to take the lead here for the first time here tonight. John Garrett there in 3rd. And you got Brandon Meyer, Tyler Hilton for your top 5, Mike Casey, Tim Lee, Hemi Gardini, Cade Green, and Eric Blunt for your top 10. Still plenty early for that 77 to start working his way through the field. He's just back there hanging out, maybe saving some tires as Michael Pratt is shotgun on the field right now.
Yeah, just kind of hanging out back there, maybe wondering if something's going to happen, maybe trying to run this thing out on fuel distance. Maybe the strategy starting early for the 77, because he did have some good lap times in. So, but, I talked about it earlier, just about managing these tires here. And if you abuse them, you'll find yourself up front, obviously, maybe you're doing well, and the next thing you know, your car just feels like doo-doo. So it's a consistent usage with these tires here at this track, as they do burn up pretty quickly. Right now I got a battle here between the 71 and the 66. Brandon Meyer and John Garrett. John Garrett on the outside here, so just working his way around the track here. You just see how long they're pretty much off that throttle, probably 3/4 of the corner. So it's just a lot of time off the track. You know, the car's just kind of floating around, whether they're braking or just letting the engine slow down. That's obviously on the driver to get that done. But I could see if those tires really got bad, even possibly even downshifting. But I don't think that's something they do here very often. But it's always a possibility depending on how bad the car is handling. And we'll take a look at that a little bit later as the laps go by here. Right now on lap 14 of 140, Dalton Kilroe is your leader over Dustin Franklin.
A good start here for the field, and already we got 12 laps in the book, so it's I know it's 140 laps, and it seems like it's a long way, but the laps click by pretty quickly here, about 22 seconds a lap right now, about 22 and a half as the tires start to wear in here a little bit. Maybe the drivers conserving a little bit as well, and as the field pretty spread out here, pretty much single file, closest battle right there for third between John Garrett and Brandon Meyer. Actually, looks like Tyler Hilton. Yeah, Tyler Hilton's still in the mix there as well. But I think everyone maybe just trying to settle into a comfort zone right now. Hopefully not too comfortable, because when that 41 is out front, it can get a little scary, because Kilroe certainly knows how to get the wins. And good to see him. I think he was back out for the first time this season, back at Talladega last week. But out here once again, looking for his first win on the season.
Yeah, getting back out there on the track. He wasn't out last week, so out here tonight trying to get himself a win and get back into into the race car. Like I said, I'm not quite sure. I haven't gotten an official word yet on or I haven't. That or I forgot, but I'm not quite sure what car they're going to run next season, and that might still be up in the air. I see Tim Lee trying to figure that out. As I don't believe they're going to bring the Legacy ARCA car back.
No, I think they were talking about the ARCA car again, but I think they might have been talking about the new ARCA car. Like I said before, I really enjoyed it. I mean, the old ARCA car, you definitely needed to wheel it, and the back end would want to step on you pretty quick if you weren't ready for it. The new one, not that it can't, but it feels a lot more planted, and it feels like you can really take to the track with it. It's a fun car in my opinion. So wouldn't be surprised if they migrate to the new one if they stay with the ARCA car. Maybe this this series here is more of a test. Hey, what do you guys think about the Xfinity? We want to switch over to the Xfinity for next season. We've seen the Cup cars run by them. We've seen the ARCA cars run by them. We'll see what 2026 has in store. But we got this series here as a little filler until we get to 2026. And right now, Kilroe leads the way by stretching out here almost close to a second at this point. 0.8 of a second lead over Dustin Franklin, Brandon Meyer, and John Garrett for your top four. Tyler Hilton rounds out the top five for the time being, but it looks like Mike Hasty catching up to the field here, and then he got a bit of a gap, about a second back to Tim Lee in seventh, another 1.5 seconds back to Cade Green in eighth, as looks like Hemi Gherardini sliding back here a little bit now in ninth place. Then Eric Blunt right there as well in 10th. Michael Pratt only half a second back from the field in 11th place.
11 cars, and about 4 seconds separate the field. Maybe a little more. So let's not do that. So it's just about 6 seconds from the front to the back. So it's not like all lost there from everybody. Is plenty of racing remaining here, and it's like who's doing what right now is kind of like in our mind, and who's saving tires, who's saving fuel, who's taking it a little bit easier, who overdrove the car, is following back. I mean, those are the things that you see. I do see Tyler Hilton down in the pits here, car up, so car down, and so getting tires coming in here at lap number 24 seems a little early. I think they have a little more fuel than that here for this size track, so we'll see how Tyler does.
I don't see that, like he brushed the wall, or that, he fell back a bunch of positions. This seems very early for him, but I mean, maybe they have the feel for how this race is going to play out and when the pit stops are going to come, and taking his short pit right now, but he's going to have to come back in. Black flag for the 0-2. Not sure if it was speeding through the exit of the pits or an unsafe exit from pit lane, but whatever strategy he was playing, I don't think this was part of the strategy, as the O2 is going to be forced to, you see him down there on the inside, to come back into the pits and serve a penalty.
Yeah, tough break for Hilton there. Obviously that's going to make the evening longer, and he'll be hoping for a caution to come out. And VVR is known for long green flags with 20-plus drivers. Now they have 11. The odds of green flags cautions are really low, and that's just stating facts. VVR has always been, really good about having really clean races and from start to finish, and with less drivers, and it's pretty much the same drivers we see. Nothing's going to change. If it's Phoenix, Martinsville, Talladega, it doesn't matter. They're gonna run pretty clean race. So, but we're on lap 29 now of 140. Dalton Killo's out front by over a second over Dustin Franklin, then Brandon Meyer, John Garrett, Mike Hasty for your top 5.
And start to spread out here as Kilroe's now 1.4 seconds ahead of Meyer, who now takes over second place as he's getting past Franklin at the moment. So Franklin's going to be shuffled back to third place. He's still battling there with Meyer and trying to make that outside line work. He's doing good enough right now, defense, to hold him off, and looks like Meyer is going to have to give up the battle. Doesn't want to use up those tires too early, and that was kind of the other surprise for Hilton. Not only did he come in early, but took tires as well. So maybe there was damage to the two, or maybe he forgot to uncheck the tires, because again, these drivers only have 2 sets of tires in the pits for these 140 laps, and certainly after 22 laps is not really when you want to take your first set of tires, unless he slid or something like that we missed on the track. But good battle here still for second place. Another battle right behind him, Mike Hasty and John Garrett going after it, as Hasty now to the inside, looking to take over fourth position, and is going to do so into turn number 1, so move the 72 up to fourth. John Garrett back there in fifth. And then he got 2.5 seconds back to Tim Lee, one of the biggest gaps we see here on the track, from 5th back to 6th in Tim Lee, as he's got Cade Green right on his back bumper. And it's a good looking paint scheme there for the 19. I mean, it is one of the Pinktober cars out here, but just something about the little bit of green mixed in there kind of makes it pop a little bit. I kind of like that. And certainly Tim Lee's car right there too, the shell paint scheme is a good looking one right in front of him as well. But it's getting to night time here, the sun's going down, and it's when these paint schemes just really start to pop for me.
Yeah, it's the lighting on the cars, the reflections, everything just kind of seems to pop a little bit better for some unknown reason, I guess. But Dustin Franklin, the All Southern Electric.com car, Brandon Meyer, just went by, in the Harbor Freight car, Mike Hasty in the Roca car, John Garrett with the Fort Worth Screen and Printing, one of our series sponsors here. We already seen Cade, Tim running the Shell car, Eric Blount with the Viagra car, Michael Pratt, Napa, Hemi Garradini with the Cluckin' Good barbecue chicken, and then Tyler Hilton out there with the Goldline Guardians machine. So inspiring hope out there. Definitely needs a little hope on his end, and maybe hoping for a caution so he can get some of those laps back.
Let's take a look at the back end. The slogan there on the Napa car is probably a good slogan even for the Viagra car out there that can get up and go. But that's beside the point. That's beside the point. Getting back to the racing here, it looks like we get another pit stop as Brandon Meyer is going to come in from the top 5. So is this going to be the start of the actual round of pit stops here? Right around 37 laps into the race. It still feels like it's kind of early. I figured they'd get to at least 40, maybe close to 50 laps and try and make this thing on just a few pit stops here tonight. But Brandon Meyer brings the 71 into the pits. We'll see when the rest of the field decides to join him. But a 3-second lead now as Dalton Kilroe is trying to take over the race here. He qualified up there in 4th, so I thought, maybe he was not quite on pace. Well, the race pace is here, and he's showing it.
Yeah, we've seen that with a bunch of drivers, Carl. Obviously, with the even in other leagues, the champ, the defending champion, qualifying a little farther back in the field, but it takes the race, race pace to get out there, and then towards the end, they're there and they're battling for the lead or leading. So it just goes to show you it's nice to get on the pole if you can. And you get the if you qualify in a pole, some leagues will give you an extra point. So there's that. But it don't necessarily need to be the fastest qualifying car in order to win this race here right now. Kilroe's up 3 spots. Mike Hasty is in second. He started second. John Garrettson up to third. Cade Green up 6 spots, your biggest mover of the race right now, sitting in 4th. Tim Lee's up 2 spots in 5th. Then you got Eric Blount, Michael Pratt up 4 spots in 7th. Hemi Gardini holding strong to P number 8. Dustin Franklin in the pits at the moment, getting some fuel, their tires and fuel, and Brandon Meyer as well. And then Tyler Hilton out there. So Meyer, Franklin, and Hilton all laps down right at the moment. It does look like Garrett is going to bring that 66 machine in here on lap 43.
No, I mean, looking at this, I guess if he can't get to, 46, 47, you're going to have to make 3 pit stops here. And it gets me wondering, we're seeing all these drivers take a set of tires here early. We haven't seen anybody just go for fuel. You see John Garrett taking tires here as well. And it kind of surprises me if they're coming in here on lap 42, if that's all they can make and they can't make it, to 46, 47 to make this a 2 pit stop race. I'm surprised that they're taking tires on this first pit stop, because the second pit stop, you figure you're going to have to take tires again on that pit stop, and you're going to have a long run to the end to keep those tires in check. More than a pit stop worth, and you're not going to have a set of tires on that the third pit stop. I just see a couple more. Mike Hasty, Hemi Gardini coming into the pits. Have yet to see our leaders, though, is that Dalton Kilroe still out there, as is Cade Green, Tim Lee, and Michael Pratt, as well as Eric Blunt. Back there, 4th and 5th battling. Now Cade Green, Tim Lee come into the pits. So it leaves 2 out there. Dalton Kilroe, we've seen him stretch out fuel before, and I think that's what he's going for right here. He knows this is, it's going to be pivotal to getting 1 less pit stop here on the night, and he's still out there at the 41. It's amazing how these drivers can do it, Jimmy. We talked about it before about drivers being smooth with tires and make the tires last longer than either of us can, but when you can put in the speed that some of these guys do while saving fuel as well, it's amazing. And that's what we see from Dalton Kilroe more often than not. It looks like he's slowing up here. He's going to come into the pits this time by kind of right on that mark at lap 47. So it's very close, but I do see another black flag. Our fearless leader, Tim Lee, is going to get a black flag here entering pit lane. So he's going to have a 40-second hold here for the 24, but looks like Eric Blunt is going to come in this time as well. It's going to complete the pit cycle first round. And he's blinking, that's for sure. And he's working that back and forth. So, yeah, I think that 6 is at best sputtering, trying to get it back to his pit lane. It looks like he's just going to coast in there. It's going to cost some time, but would have been worse if he had a tow. But the short pitting here is definitely going to work out nicely, and maybe that's what we've seen. Maybe Brandon Meyer realized, you know what, I'm not going to be able to make this thing on 2 pit stops. It's going to be a 3 pit stop race for me. Let me just bite the bullet now, come in early, split this thing up into quarters, and see what I can do. As he's now your leader by 3.5 seconds over Dustin Franklin, Mike Hasty in 3rd, John Garrett in 4th, and then your leader before the pit cycle, Dalton Kilroe back there in 5th.
And Blount right there, still staying on the lead lap, just in front of the the 71 and Brandon Meyer. like you said, has the lead over Dustin Franklin back there. So pit stops, mixing everything up here. Obviously, Brandon Meyer coming in at lap 37. Franklin was at 40. The 40, Mike Hasey was in on lap 44. John Garrett was in on 42. So the first car that kind of succession didn't get there. And then Kilroe came in on lap 47. And currently in P5, and everybody behind him came in before him, with the exception of Eric Blount, that is a lap down. So, yeah, I mean, strategy all over the place right now, but it does look like Dalton Kilroe looking to run this one out, maybe to, where he can get enough fuel, or maybe a lap after, just in case caution comes out, and they got to do a green-white checker or something. So, I could see him hitting that mark where he knows he's going to be good, and then coming down and taking another set of tires and fuel.
Yeah, and it's a product of the league here and how many cars are running right now as well. Certainly if we had more cars out there, maybe changed up the strategy. If it was another league that doesn't have as much green flag running as they do here in VVR, maybe change up the strategy as well. But knowing that these things a lot of times go green to checkered, you kind of have to think ahead of the game and figure out, okay, well, what can I do to really benefit myself in the long run right away. And that's what Dalton Kilroe did on that first run. Went to 47 to try and make this on a two-stop strategy, but he had speed in doing so as well. I mean, he was in the lead and checking out from everybody while saving fuel. So whatever that 41 style is, it's a winning style for a reason. He's a former champion for a reason, and out here looking to get his first win, as he is right behind John Garrett right now in fourth place. Running some decent times, but I'm sure he doesn't mind just kind of hanging out here, saving a little bit of fuel, and trying to get to now lap 94 is going to be his next goal.
Yeah, getting in that 94 range, obviously he'll just need, just over 40 some laps here to make it there, and be able to actually make it. So, yeah, it's some fuel saving here tonight, tire conservation, how hard they can push, and try to get this thing done. Somebody that's going to be a little off the pace though is going to be Hilton. Obviously, he's one lap down, and he was last in on lap 22. Now lap 57, so not going to be able to make it the whole time, and probably be out there for I don't know, maybe 10 more laps or so before Hilton comes in, if he's trying to max out. But that would put him close to 70, which is only about halfway. So he will definitely need to come in at least one more time before he finishes tonight.
Yeah, not sure. I know Tim Lee got a penalty, but it certainly wasn't a 2-minute penalty, as he was in the pits for quite some time, and now he is several laps down back there in 11th. So at least Tyler Hilton able to pick up that position or move himself into the top 10. But all 11 cars still out there and running, and yeah, not sure what's going on here with the 24. All of a sudden, he was up there battling by the top 5 early on, but I think the penalty may have kind of gotten to him here tonight. Good battle looks like for third place between Kilroe and Garrett, as Kilroe, he's seen, did make the pass, move himself into third, and then another one back there is Eric Blunt now with some newer tires, trying to run down Hemi Gherardini and take that spot. Meanwhile, they are getting caught up here by third and fourth in the race, so they're back down a lap and trying to make their way back through. But that 6 doesn't seem like he has the same kind of speed going through the field that the 41 does, even though he's kind of on that same strategy, pit on lap 47 with him and trying to get this thing done in 2 pit stops.
And I think that just has to deal with driving style, Carl. You talked about it just a little bit, how, each driver, some drivers can go out there, save fuel, be fast, and heck, a lot of times they're saving fuel and they're, quite a bit faster than, we can be on the track. So just driving style is the way you take care of it, and you can't be in a rush. And right now, Kilroe's just kind of running his race, running his pace. If he gets there, he gets there. He doesn't, he doesn't. Right now, Brandon Meyer enjoying the 5-second lead over, that 2-second lead over Dustin Franklin, as they are split by a little bit. So Meyer just kind of enjoying life there, no pressure or anything. Dustin Franklin trying to catch Brandon Meyer, but not too quick because he doesn't want to overdrive his tires. And then Dalton Kilrow could see that Dustin Franklin as well. So everybody in at least eye shot there, Carl.
I want to thank our series sponsors here, Hilton Crafts and Designs, Goldline Guardians, and Fort Worth Screen Printing for everything they do. And shout out to those out there in CRN Nation watching. I know we got Barry out there as usual watching. A little bit lighter field out there, both on the track and in the chat room out there. But certainly we see Barry rooting for Dalton Kilrow as he typically does. Not a bad pick here for tonight. Looking pretty strong out there with the 41. Even though he's back there in third, I think he's got the right pit strategy going here, as he's not only got the speed, but may have the right strategy here to get it done tonight. But we still got a long way to go. We're just coming up on halfway, and you never know. One caution, really, Jimmy. One caution at any point in this race can throw strategies right out the window and shake everything back up.
Yeah, we're almost at that halfway mark, so obviously the drivers may be trying to settle into a decision, especially for the upcoming laps here and what they're going to do. Are they going to try to make it so they can make it the rest of the way? Are they going to say the heck with it and come down and just split it up a little bit? I want to be surprised, but I just don't know how close it is for a full tank run and to get them to where they can go out there and run again. And, you know, a lot of drivers, they talk about not liking these fuel-saving runs, but each and every week, no matter the track, it comes down to it. Like, oh, if I could just save 3 extra laps the whole time, I can get rid of a stop and go. So, it doesn't really matter, Carl, if you have 100%, 50%. Obviously, the only thing that's going to matter is how often you actually have to go into pits. Something's going to happen with the fuel, and then you're going to have to adjust your car. Like the way you drive. So somebody could be out there with a full tank and be to this point right now, or somebody could have decided to come in earlier and to take fuel and tires and still have to be out there. But out here on like 70 lap tires is very challenging, and that's where some drivers we've actually broadcasted leagues that do that, run the 100% fuel, where they only have to stop once, but they're out there for a whole time and they got to manage the tires for that full tank. And it's amazing how much they fall off from the beginning of their tank to the end. Unlike the GT cars, the lighter the car gets, the faster they go.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing, the ebbs and flows of how things work. But I mean, again, it just amazes me how some can be so fast, and we've seen it, Jimmy, in endurance racing when it comes to, you look at the top guys in our splits, whether it's in the same class or not, and you wonder, one, how the hell are they going seconds faster than you every lap, and somehow they're making an extra 2 or 3 laps on fuel. It makes no sense whatsoever. But I mean, some just have that absolute raw skill that they maybe you're driving hard into the corner and then slamming on the brakes to get down to the right speed, and they're backing up a little bit earlier and saving that little bit of fuel every single corner. It's just there's so many little nuances that I don't run enough anymore to even think about what they are. I'm just out there trying to do the best I can and just keep the car out the wall. So I guess I can't really complain about not having the speed, but like even the fuel saving, it's amazing what some of these drivers can do.
Yeah, and I think I get it, obviously, but applying it is probably the different thing. Right now, iRacing is all under consumption of throttle position, so it doesn't matter, 10% in first or 10% in fourth. You're going to use the same exact amount of fuel. But when the GT cars, when you come out of the corner, if you stop on the gas, it still takes the car time to kind of transition all the way up to max speed. Well, you don't need to be full throttle to get it still takes a while for the car to get up there, but because the throttle's full the whole time and you still got that natural progression for the speed, if you were to kind of start back at like 25% and then just kind of gradually go up at, over time, obviously over the course of say 2 seconds, going from 25 to 100 instead of like a half a second. You know, you come out of the corner and punch it. That amount of time where the throttle's not at 100% is where these drivers are starting to save fuel. They're modulating the fuel through the progression of the RPMs in the car without underdoing it. And they're also, you know, downhill lifting early and letting the car coast. We all know that's probably the easiest way to save fuel, that we can actually save fuel and not lose too much time. But these drivers just, I think it has a lot to do with that modulation with the fuel throttle, of course.
Either way, it amazes me, but the man that's maybe trying to save some fuel here just retook the lead as Dalton Kilrow now back to the top spot, overtaking Brandon Meyer. John Garrett coming in for another pit stop here, giving up 4th position as it is Kilrow, Meyer, Franklin, Garrett temporarily. Cade Green is going to move up there. He's currently in the top 5. Mike Hasty, Emmy Garardini, Eric Blunt, Michael Pratt, Tyler Hilton, and Tim Lee for your 11-car field. But getting ready to start our second round of pit stops here. We already seen some come in. We've seen Mike Hasty come in all the way back on lap 60. So not sure what strategy that 72 is going for. Just came in for a splash and dash, but he is about to be overtaken here by the 77 of Michael Pratt, who is quite a bit back here. I know he likes to go back to front, but that Napa machine is, I think, a little bit too far back to make any kind of charge. You're going to need maybe a caution or two to get him back in the mix here. He pit on lap number 73. John Garrett now coming back out of the pits. We're still waiting for a bunch of our leaders to come in. Looks like Brandon Meyer now going to come in from 3rd place. And again, that magic number for Dalton Kilrow is still going to be right around 93, 94 laps he's got to get to if he's going to try and make this thing to the end. And Eric Blunt, kind of the same boat right now. Even though he's lapped down, he's still trying to make this thing on 2 pit stops, the way it looks. So we'll see if he can make it to that magic number as well.
Does look like Meyer getting about 44 laps for that stint. So adding 44 to 45, you're only looking at 89. So looking at lap number 90 for Meyer. So at least one more stop for the 41 at current pace. The 41 out there came in at lap 47. If he can make it another 47 laps, he'll be out there to lap number 94. So that would be 47 laps. It's still stretching it here, Carl. It's going to be an interesting one here for Kilrow if he can push the car that far. But I'm sure he's fuel saving as best he can to just alleviate a whole pit stop. And now, how much time are in the pit stops, you say? Okay, let's go down here and pull those up. We'll go ahead. Here's how much time is in pit lane. Excuse me, that's a pit time. So 14 seconds, that's actually in the box. Getting tires and fuel. And anywhere between 9.4 and 14 and a half. 15 seconds was the longest one. And then right here is a pit lane time. Excuse me, pit lane time. So I'll put them back to back there. Where is that? I want this here.
Yeah, those shorter pit stops, the ones under 10 seconds, those are the drivers coming in just for fuel and not taking tires. The 4 tires is going to take you around that 14.5 second range in your pit lane for the pit time. But the pit lane time is what Jimmy's talking about, and you're looking in the kind of the mid 40s. I mean, we've seen as short as for 4 tires, you're seeing as short as just under 42 seconds with Dustin Franklin going 41.97. But you figure, at minimum 42 seconds. Well, that's almost 2 full laps here at Richmond. They're going around there at a 22, 23 second clip. So, I mean, essentially, Dalton Kilrow can go as slow as nearly putting himself 2 laps down to make this fuel work out for alleviating a pit stop, and he'd still be on the right foot. Well, he's out there leading right now, so forget going 2 laps down. He's trying to put other drivers' laps down while he's also saving fuel. So amazing job out here right now from the 41. He's got a 20-second lead right now. He's almost got the entire field lap credit. A lot of these drivers already came in to make their pit stop, but I mean, Cade Green last pit on lap number 45. He's still got to come in to make his pit stop. He's in second right now, but 20.5 seconds behind your leader.
Yeah, just amazing right now what Kilro's doing to the field, and it's all about strategy, and he has plenty of time to execute something. He's on the lead. He's only got one car in the lead lap, and that's Cade Green. And Cade Green is in the 19 car that's only just ahead of Kilro. So it's not very far up in front of this pack there, past us a few lap drivers, is the number 19 of Cade Green. So, I mean, good run for, a lot of people out there. Cade Green especially, up 8 spots, currently sitting in P2. And a lot of people dropping back a spot. Let's see, Heavy Gardini's up 1, Eric Blount's up 1, and Michael Pratt up 2.
We'll see when these drivers decide to come into the pits, as Cade Green most likely be coming in these next couple laps, unless he's trying to stretch it out somehow and make an extremely long run here on this second one. But he's also again going to have to get around that 93, 94 lap mark. But we're getting close to that point, and should be coming up there very soon. I'm sure Dalton Kilrow doesn't mind kind of hanging out behind these cars, getting some fuel saving done. And now Cade Green does indeed come into the pit, so he's getting about 45 laps on a tank, and that's not going to be enough to get him to the end here. That's only going to get him 5 laps short as it stands. So I think regardless, he's coming in for a splash and dash in the end. Dalton Kilrow, though, still out there, still trying to stretch this thing. We'll see if he comes in this time by. If he doesn't, yeah, he should be good to go, as he's now completing lap number 93. So even if he comes in on this next lap, should be good to go to the end. He's still going to have to, stretch it here a little bit and really have a good long run for this third one. But ultimately, great strategy here for the 41, providing caution doesn't come out. But even if it does, I tell you what, Jimmy, he may have just the raw speed to beat anybody regardless, as he goes around for yet another lap and gives himself a chance to run a little bit harder in that final stint.
Yeah, depending on how bad the tires are here, just trying to make sure you can get enough fuel to make it the whole way. The more laps he can put in now, the less he has to worry about, obviously, just out there. But he's going to bring that number 41 down in, gets it slowed down. I don't see any black flags, so good entry for the 51. Bringing her back here tonight after taking last week off, and kind of letting everybody know he's still here. He's ready to play. Ready to defend, next season's championship here. On this one-off here, though, I think it's just for pretty much for fun. Like I said, just a kind of a filler for these guys, as they have a pretty long time off from like the end of their normal season to the start of the next one, which is, I think last year they started in February, right, Carl?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I think this is actually his second race. I think he was there last week at Talladega. Again, the results, unfortunately, not up there on iRacing. But I think last week was his first race out. He missed the first 2, but coming back in full force here tonight. Comes back out about, looks about 7 seconds behind your leader, but that's not really his concern at all. He knows Brandon Meyer is not going to be able to make it to the end. He knows Dustin Franklin, Mike Casey, none of them are going to be able to make it to the end. In fact, Mike Casey is going to be pitting here very soon. He last pit on lap number 60, so he'll be coming in here probably within the next 5 to 10 laps here. But we are getting close to that 100 lap mark as Eric Blunt now comes into the pits. He's stretching a little bit further as well, and I think it's about time we'll step aside here and let these cars roar as the lights come on here at Richmond, and give everyone out there in Sierra Nation a little love to hear it.
Love to hear it. Sights and sounds here at VVR with the Xfinity Series. We have 20 laps to go. Dalton Kilroe has resumed the lead here. Should be able to make it the rest of the way. John Garrett currently sitting in P number 2. Was last in on lap 77. We're pretty sure that he's going to have to come in. He should be able to make it to about lap a few more laps maybe, but soon, probably with 10 to go at least. Cade Green sitting in 3rd at the moment with Franklin, and speaking of Garrett coming in now. Cade Green out there doing a good job in P number 3, and Franklin right there battling out. So this is your closest battle on the track at the moment. You can see the difference in tires as Franklin was in on lap 114. Green was in a 91, so obviously those tires working to Franklin's advantage. So now is there enough tire difference between Franklin and Kilroe to catch them? Probably not, as Kilroe has a 30-second lead over Franklin. And then Mike Hasty back there will be looking to probably get around Cade Green as well. The 72 was in on lap 100. And he's 1 lap down, so he'll be looking to get by Green to get that podium spot, but not if he keeps doing that.
Yeah, seen some scraping on the wall as these drivers trying to get everything here in these last 20 laps. But I mean, it's crazy right now. The entire field is lapped at least once by Dalton Kilroe, and he's in fuel save mode. He's just trying to get this thing to the end. So it's pretty scary what he's done here tonight. But speaking of scary, keeping with the Halloween theme here. We'll put it out there to the CRN audience, and as I do, I put it out to you there, Jimmy, as well. I know you're not gonna pick the final result here, but favorite haunted attraction. You got haunted hayride, haunted house, and I know this is probably more in my area compared to yours right now down in Florida, but I've seen it pop up a couple times, a haunted corn maze. Option 4 is no to all 3. I'm sure you're not going to pick that one for sure, but no. What's your favorite haunted attraction?
Haunted attraction. The houses are a lot of fun. I mean, especially being able to live down here in Florida and be able a chance to go to Orlando and see the professionally done ones. They usually do a pretty good job putting on a good show, and we do have haunted like hay rides and stuff like that actually down here in Florida, not too far away, Carl. I'm like on the edge of any kind of major town, and there's some. We'll call them country bumpkins out there. Live out in the middle of nowhere. Bad internet. Probably just as good as yours. And
easy.
And matter of fact, I got rid of some lumber the other day, and a couple sheets of they're pieces of plywood, but they were painted on one side. They were used for a project for one of the tech schools. Anyways, the guy come out and he's like, "Yeah, it needs to start raining. The deer are only coming out during the night," and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Deer or dogs?" And he just kind of chuckled. He's like, "No, they're big deer." I'm like, "How big are your big deer?" And I'm from Pennsylvania originally. Deer hunted a lot when I was a kid. And, deer were like close to 200 pounds. I don't think I've seen a deer down here over maybe 60.
Yeah, I think last time I was down in Florida on the way home, I was actually surprised right before we got to the border of Georgia driving home. I seen a deer. I'm like, there are deer down here. It doesn't make sense because you see them obviously all the time up here in Pennsylvania. But one thing you're not seeing is the back bumper of that number 41. If you're Dalton Kilroe, I guess you are seeing him if he's going past you, lapping you another time. But he is clicking down the laps here as we're getting down towards the end of this thing. We got 9 more laps to go here, and Kilroe has got this thing on lock. I guess the only question is, are they going to survive out of that? Looks like they will. That was the first question, but the other question is, who's going to get second? Who's going to come out of this thing in second? Looks like Dustin Franklin has got a good lock on that one as well, and it's kind of amazing. Franklin did have the pole here tonight, and he did have to make one more pit stop, that Dalton Kilroe, so certainly that's going to put him back here a little bit. But you wonder what would have happened if they made the same amount of pit stops, and if Franklin could have posed any kind of threat. Because we told you how much difference it was in pit stops here. It's about almost 2 full laps, and right now he's only down 1 lap. So you wonder how it would have played out. Cade Green is most likely going to have to come in here again, but I mean, laps are clicking down here. I would think he's still going to need at least a splash and go unless he went into ultra save mode here on this last run, because he's going to have to make this thing, even being down a lap, he's going to have to still go a good 48, 49 laps here on this last run. Mike Casey back there in 4th place. He is good to go to the end of this thing. And then Michael Pratt is good to go as well back there in 5th. John Garrett, as listening to the engines kind of slow down there for Cade Green. John Garrett back there in 6th. Eric Blunt, Tyler Hilton, Emmy Gardini, Tim Lee for your top 10. Then Brandon Meyer did end up calling it a night there in 11th. Before we get to the end here, I want to thank our sponsors here once again. Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs for everything that they do here for the series. And thank Tim Lee here. I know maybe not that the night that he won and did have a good start tonight, but I think that pit road penalty kind of really set him back here, and he's going to finish at least in the top 10. But not that there's that much right? For that. But yeah, it is. It's no catching Dalton Kilroe here tonight as he comes by right now. It's going to be 3 laps to go here for the 41, and the only question is, did he screw up at all in the fuel saving on this last run, and will he run out? That's the only thing that's going to stop him from winning here tonight.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the issue here for Dalton, as he's got 3 laps to go here, getting ready to come out of turn number 4 to cross that very close start-finish line. And it's kind of, like you said, a unique place to put it. It's not even halfway down. It's towards the exit of 4, which is unique in its way. So you have to get your final run out of turn 2 if you're going to make a pass and be able to dive down into turn number 3. So definitely an interesting place to put that start-finish line. But final lap as Dalton Kilroe has taken the white here at Richmond, and looking to get a win on the season.
And indeed, he's going to come in through turns 3 and 4. Masterclass put on tonight by the 41, as he's going to get it done here by a huge margin, maybe the biggest margin that we've seen here in VVR, as there's plenty of class here in the field, but he gets it done. Dustin Franklin going to come home in 2nd. Shout out to Cade Green, as he did make it all the way to the end. A great fuel strategy there at the end for Cade Green to get a top 3, as we'll get him into the booth here for his interview. Mike Casey, Michael Pratt going to round out your top 5. John Garrett, Eric Blunt, Tyler Hilton, and Emmy Gardini, Tim Lee for your top 10. Then Brandon Meyer for the 11 car field. But the 41 had the fast car, he had the fuel saving car as well, and either one of those would be good enough to get the win. He had them both here tonight as he dances on the front stretch.
Yeah, still a little bit of fuel to do a little bit of celebrating here for the 41 as he burns it down there. Finally get out there. Nice clean green flag run for the drivers here at VVR, and like I said, with they're typically a green flag league anyways, so you take a few drivers away, it just the odds of going green go that much higher. So, but good run there for the 41, and congratulations to him. Obviously to Dustin Franklin and Cade Green for their podium finishes, and then obviously the rest of the field that showed up here tonight. Hope to see many more people out there, so if you come back or rewatching, get a chance. We miss you out here with VVR as we finish up the season. Still have 5 more races remaining for the season, so plenty of racing. They will be off next week, so we won't be here on Thursday night next week, but we'll be back the week after. And I think we're at Chicagoland, so it'll be a good race out there as well.
Yeah, we got Chicagoland, Daytona, and Kern Raceway for 3 races in November. So Kern going to be making I believe, maybe even a CRN debut as well. The short track out there in the West, and then Texas and Michigan, beautiful Michigan, for your 2 tracks in December to kind of round out this short season. But go ahead and get our interviewers in here in a second. But before we do, want to thank all those out there in CRN Nation, whether you're tuning in right now live, certainly Barry is out there, or whether you're going to be watching this as one of the racers afterwards and watching this back. I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in to CRN. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer, and you can get ready to hop over to the sister channel here and check out the Core GT series as they're about to get it fired up here for Le Mans, the big, beautiful Le Mans Speedway, or not Speedway, it's a very interesting track. It's got a lot of speed, a lot of straightaways, but the back half of that track can get very, very treacherous. So we'll see how they handle it over there. But we got our top 3 ready to get interviewed here tonight. We're going to start with our 3rd place finisher, and Jimmy, it's going to be the 19 of Cade Green.
Hey, Cade, Jimmy, and Carl in the booth. You copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, welcome to the booth, and one heck of a race here tonight. Obviously, Green from start to finish. So we want to say congratulations on the 3rd place finish. But walk us through your race and what was going through your mind, and how did you come out on top here? And you're up 7 spots, so obviously the biggest mover of the race, and you get yourself a podium here in 3rd place.
Yeah, I mean, the name of the game tonight was just save. I was just easy on throttle, coasting into the corner. Not really, I was probably 3/4 throttle down the straights, just saving, trying to make it a 2-stop race, and was able to, work my way through the field on a pit strategy.
Yeah, you definitely stretched that last tank out. We thought you were going to be just a little bit short, and you would need a splash and go. But in my case, he was really trying to get down there, but ended up slapping the wall a few times, and some lap traffic kind of held him up a little bit to get on that back bumper of the 19. So you were able to hold on to that position and get yourself a great finish. So yeah, we just it was a great run out there. You did what you needed to do in order to save enough fuel and get yourself a great finish here. So you're off next week, but then the week after you guys go to Chicagoland. So what are your thoughts on the next race?
Yeah, I like Chicagoland. I'm real confident in this car. I really like the way this car drives. So, and Chicagoland it's a real high speed track, so it really kind of plays into my favor. That's my kind of track. So I feel confident about that one. But we're gonna celebrate tonight's 3rd place, our first podium of the season. So we'll take that as a win tonight, and just get ready for the next one.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulations on that 3rd place finish. And we'll give you, before we let you get out of here, though, give you some time for any shouts you might have it at 19.
No, yeah, I just got to thank everybody at HRE, John, Tyler, and Colin. They all Tyler puts a lot into this, and it really shows on the track with our speed and everything. And but yeah, and I got to thank Tim for putting this on VVR, and you guys for broadcasting, obviously, and then obviously Everglades and Diamond G on the card, and our Pinktober cards. Really cool to get them a podium finish tonight.
Yeah, it's a nice looking car out there tonight. Carl pointed out because of the little bit of different colors in there, the green, yellow, and that you got mixed on the side there. But so again, congratulations on that 3rd place finish. We'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That is your 3rd place finisher here tonight, the 19 of Cade Green. 2nd place here tonight. He started on the pole, comes home in 2nd. That's the 73 of Dustin Franklin. Dustin, the extra pit stop may be kind of what cost you here tonight, as we see the pit stops roughly take about a lap and a half, 2 laps worth of lap time out there, and he only finished right about that time behind Dalton Kilroe. Do you feel like if you could have made this thing on one less pit stop, maybe you had something for the 41? Or is 2nd place kind of the best you can get?
I think I gave him a run for it. I'm pretty sure he had some left in the tank. Some tire and fuel. It took me a while to catch him. He was fast, and once he passed me, there was no catching him. But the truck ran great. It was fine. I didn't wreck it, didn't spin it. Finished 2nd, and this was a great first appearance with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you put this thing on the pole, and there's no slouches here in VVR. There's some really good drivers out here on the track, even though there's only 10 other guys that you're out there competing with. But you get it on the pole here, and you ran a really good race. You fell back a little bit in the opening run, but kind of found your speed and found your found your fuel strategy here at the end to get you up here into second place.
Yes, sir. When I saw the winner, when I saw him, he went 4 laps longer than me. I already knew it was over, so I knew I was fighting for second place. So his fuel strategy definitely won.
Yeah, I mean, once it gets to that point, and like you say, you kind of feel like it's out the window, whether there's unless you get a caution, obviously, and throws everything back into play. But kind of what's the mindset at that point? Is it just okay? Well, either way, I've made my bed. This is what I got to do. I got to try and do the best I can. And I mean, he's saving fuel, so he's also maybe not running the fastest that he can run. So is there a thought that maybe I can kind of run him down with what I got?
Yeah, he was lights out fast once he got past me. I don't think there was no keeping up with him, tell you the truth. I don't think I would have finished a lap down if I'd have had a lot better pit strategy.
Well, either way, it got you second. Second place is not exactly terrible here on 140 laps here at Richmond. So congratulations on the finish and on the pole here in your debut. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you give a shout out to or thanks to?
Thanks to you guys. Thanks to Tim, the guy who invited me, the admin. And I want to thank John T. Garrett. I've raced with him for a while and been to a lot of his races in real life. So I just want to give a shout out to him as well.
Well, hopefully you'll get to see him again as he's trying to make his way back into the ARCA series there at Chicagoland in real life. So congrats again on second place here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yes, sir. I plan on going to see him. I haven't been to Chicago since I was in boot camp.
Nice.
I don't miss that place.
Right? All right, guys. You have a good night.
You too.
You too, buddy. That is your second place finisher here tonight, the 73 of Dustin Franklin. Top spot, though, here tonight. Best car, best strategy is going to be the 41 of Dalton Kilrow.
All in. Jimmy Crawl up in the booth. Copy.
Gotcha.
You're back. And with a vengeance here, the 41 leading the charge, getting that win by over 30 seconds, had the whole field lap tonight, executing probably your strategy flawlessly, not only flawlessly, but contender still being one of the faster cars out on the track. So kind of give us a rundown of what your flawless race was like tonight.
Yeah, I mean, towards the start, I knew I didn't qualify as great as I would have wanted to. I know starting fourth isn't a bad qualifying by any means, but I felt like I had more speed than that. But I just knew I had to be patient at the start and not overdo things because people were loose on exit on those cold tires, so I didn't want to be that guy that gave it a little too much and nosed it at the inside wall. But once I just got into a rhythm and got into the lead, and I saw that Dustin was kind of back just a little bit and I had a gap, I just started just seeing what I could do. I didn't go into the race planning on doing anything like that. But I saw you could stretch the fuel just by doing a little bit of lift and coast for a couple 100 feet into each corner, and I never really lost much lap time doing it. So I was just like, okay, here we go. Let's see if anybody else tries it. And I think a couple others did, but they weren't, I guess, doing it as effectively as I was able to do it. And was just able to keep speeding the car, keep tires on it, and just run my race, because that's all I needed to do, was just not make any silly mistakes and just keep the car under control.
Yeah, it's definitely a fine line to keep the car fast and save fuel at the same time. Still something me and Carl always wonder how the heck anybody does it, but you get it, you execute it here. Like I said, flawlessly here tonight, putting the 41 in the lead here at the end by a whole lap. It's obviously with the type of drivers out here at VVR, the odds of going green are usually pretty high, even when you guys are in your main season for the year, and to kind of have a few less drivers, the odds of having a caution and become super rare. So obviously out here, the kind of challenge, not really challenge yourself, but the patience and pacing of being in the lead and being able to save fuel. How much what do you want to call it? Just like, how hard is it to just keep yourself at that pace and not kind of get carried away, maybe going a little bit faster or not going fast enough and let others catch you?
Well, for me, I've always been, I'd say, relatively good at being consistent with hitting my marks. So I don't necessarily look at pace or trying to catch somebody. I just focus on hitting my marks. And as long as I'm doing what I need to do and the fuel number is working or the gap's closing, then that's what it is. But for me, I knew on the back end, as long as I just stayed focused and just disciplined, it would pay off because I just wouldn't have to pit as often, and I'd gain a lot of time from that, so I didn't need to overdo anything to try to make up time on track that I was already going to gain anyway. So just effectively, in terms of like a net lead, I knew I had a lot in the bag, so it's not like I've got to go out there and drive 95%. I can just chill at 80 and just go from there.
Yeah, inherently with the obviously with one less pit stop, you automatically get a pretty much a 40-second advantage between your the standard, or say roughly a 40-second advantage by not going down in pit lane and taking tires and coming out. And does that kind of wonder in the back of your mind how fast Dustin Franklin might have been if he could have saved some fuel, as he was only about 30 seconds behind you?
Maybe. I don't know what all he. I mean, as far as I'm aware, there were probably like 3 or 4 others that did the same as me and made it on 2 stops. Like I know Cade Green was one of them, and he was still a lap down. So I don't know. It would be weird. I'd be curious, but I still feel like I would have.
Just something to think about. Obviously, going
I don't
forward.
know. I don't know him going all out. I was still pulling away from him while saving, so I don't know.
Yeah, I guess
more.
I guess it's a what if question for the future, but definitely a few more races of the season and for this year to come. So we want to say congratulations, as always, for getting the win here tonight. Barry was out there rooting for you, so congratulations. Barry! We'll give you some time for any shouts you might have in at number 41.
Hell yeah, Barry, let's go. I got to thank MFRD, the squad at VVR, for putting the league on this little XFINITY fall series. You guys are doing the broadcast, everybody at home for watching, and the guys that show up to these races make them where you still got to think it's not like tonight was an easy ride, even though I won by a lap. That doesn't tell the full story, so I still have to earn it at some point. So they made me definitely pull out all the stops, and just glad with the community we've got here in Virtual Velocity Racing.
I appreciate all the kind words, and again, congratulations on your win here tonight. We'll see you in 2 weeks as you guys tackle on Chicagoland. But until then, I guess we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That is your winner here tonight, the 41 of Dalton Kilroe, getting it done in pretty dominating fashion here. Again, I know he had the best strategy, and it gave him the size win that he had. But if he didn't go for that strategy, if he went for the extra pit stop, I still think he might have kind of thumped the field here tonight, as he was just on it in every aspect here tonight. So congrats to the 41. I want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. It gets you in touch with everything that Sierra has to offer. Feel free to hop over there and check out the Core GT series going on right now at Le Mans. But for myself and Jimmy here from the CRM booth at Richmond Raceway, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.